Hello there everyone, Ashnflash here. Today we are going to be breaking down all the Easter eggs, references, cameos, and other things that you may have missed during the LEGO Movie 2, the second part, that is in theaters right now. So just a heads up, full spoiler warnings for the movie, and let's jump straight into things. So, starting things off with Batman, who has his printed utility belt still on his torso at the beginning of the film, because this is before the events of the LEGO Batman movie, where he gets his new utility belt piece, which is later used in his apocalyptic suit. Very nice attention to detail. In case you missed it, when Emmett is approaching the Duplo monsters, the news helicopter feed says that an insane man is approaching monsters, and at the top of the feed it says Taco Tuesday is a hoax, a lie, and a scam. The ice cream guy that sticks the hot dogs in his head is standing next to a hot dog stand which has the same logo and similar signs to the one that appears in the LEGO Ninjago movie and sets. This is really the only reference to that movie besides Rex later using Kai's hairpiece. The LEGO movie has a few tropes. One of the ones that is continued here is when a blaster is fired, the character says pew 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 while firing. Another trope is the title cards that we see a lot of in the LEGO movie, and we see once here with a 5 years later, like we got in the first movie. Later on, we also see tiny brick-built ships flying around like Metalbeard's ship from the first movie. The coffee chain from the first movie has added 2 letters to the start and the end of its name, making it now Coffee Unchained. While some people may have thought that Emmett hasn't really changed with the times, he actually has, with the printing on his torso and legs being scratched off a bit, which is very typical of LEGO figures who are being played with a lot. The Apocalypse Burg Statue of Liberty knocked down is of course a reference to the Planet of the Apes, and the whole style of the city is very Mad Max. During Emmett's tween mix of Everything is Awesome, on Emmett's phone you can see 3 options for a remix of Everything is Awesome: Popsa Nova's remix, Tween Dream remix, and Electro Crunk remix. And during this we see 2 cyborgs that are built very similarly to Mr. Freeze from the LEGO Batman movie. Bad Cop, or Scribble Cop, is seen in his old car being carried by a legion of the robot skeletons from the first movie that I guess he has control over now. Emmett still isn't getting along with Jeff. Speaking of those returning characters, we see a lot of them here. Larry the Barista, Sharon and her cats, Surfer Dave, Scribble Cop, Panda Suit Guy, Swamp Creature, Vampire, Egyptian Queen, Abraham Lincoln in his space chair again, Gandalf, and a mime. Some missing characters I think that were pretty prominent in the first movie and had speaking lines were Shakespeare, Dumbledore, Shaquille O'Neal, Where Are My Pants Guy, and his wife Sharon Shoehorn. She didn't speak, but she's a big part of that show. We also didn't see Apocalyptic Green Lantern, which is kind of weird to me because he was included in the set. I think originally he was supposed to be left behind when they went to go travel to the Sistar system, but I guess they decided to have him included. There's also a bunch of other master builders that didn't make it into this movie, but I didn't bother listing them because there would be too many to count, so. Some new characters included is Velma from Scooby-Doo, Larry Poppins, which could be a joke about LEGO having some problems with knockoff companies over the past year. His catchphrase is a spoonful of salt, rather than Mary Poppins' catchphrase of a spoonful of sugar. NBA players Gary Payton and Cheryl Swoops are also seen and have speaking roles. Of course, the double-decker couch makes its return here, but in the form of a triple-decker couch mech, as well as a double-decker porch swing in Emmett's dream house. Planty could be a nod to Groot because Chris Pratt is of course Star-Lord. The Bricksburg sign is a reference to the Hollywood sign in California. Emmett is made fun of being called a Hufflepuff and definitely not a Gryffindor. This makes me sad because I'm actually a Hufflepuff and so is Newt Scamander, so not really sure why that's a diss. But the DC characters included here in this movie are of course Superman, again voiced by Channing Tatum, GL voiced by Jonah Hill, Wonder Woman again voiced by Colby Smulders, Aquaman voiced by Jason Momoa, Harley Quinn voiced by Margot Rubin and not Margot Robbie, like people previously had reported on. Harley says that Emmett going to rescue everyone is a suicide mission, of course being a reference to her being a part of the Suicide Squad. Lex Luthor also has a speaking role played by Ike Barinholtz, who was actually in Suicide Squad. General Zod is also name dropped, and the Flash and Cyborg can also be seen. A large version of the Justice League's Javelin is also seen, and on the door there is a shield that has the Justice League movie logo on it. Classic Aquaman is also made fun of here with Larry Poppins, who was actually seen at the end of the first movie as well as in the LEGO Batman movie. There's also a Duplo and mini doll version of Wonder Woman that we see later, And during one of the songs, we see two Batman in the same scenes, which could be teasing a Crisis on Infinite Earths or something else like that for the Lego Batman Movie 2, since the Lego Movie and the Lego Movie 2 was made by the same people who made Into the Spider-Verse. Speaking of the Lego Batman Movie, we of course see Alfred, who has been confirmed to be voiced by Ralph Fiennes, who voiced him in the Lego Batman Movie. The Lego Batman Movie was also referenced by Wonder Woman, who said that Batman was off having his own standalone adventure. Batman says he's alone here because it's what the people want, and he learned to love, but all he needs is Alfred still. Batman says he has 9 movies, and like 3 others in various stages of development, which is just a sliver of the DC movies in development over at Warner Brothers. The Stairgate is of course a reference to Stargate. Fast forward a bit to the first real musical number, Benny's Space Squad from the set are briefly seen, but only those 4 spacemen are seen. The space planet has a rocket go by, making a red stripe around it, of course, which is the classic spaceman logo. And the Series 8 pirate can actually be seen as a part of Metalbeard's crew, and there's a couple others that I couldn't make out. Rex's character is a reference to a ton of Chris Pratt roles. Rex's character is, of course, a reference to a ton of Chris Pratt roles. The first one is a reference to Guardians of the Galaxy when he says that he's a galaxy-defending archaeologist, followed by a whip sound, who people have wanted him to actually be playing Indiana Jones, so that's kind of cool. He says he's a cowboy, which is, of course, a nod to a role that he played in Magnificent Seven. Him being a raptor trainer is a reference to his character Owen Grady from the Jurassic World franchise. He's even seen standing in the same famous stance from that movie. Social media influencer is a nod to the actor himself. Him being a first baseman is a reference to him playing Scott Hatteberg in Moneyball. He also says that he's a man of the soil and a script doctor. He says his middle name is Machete Ninja Star, which is such an Andy Dwyer Johnny Karate thing to say. Rex jokes about having chiseled features previously hidden under baby fat, which is of course a joke about Chris Pratt prior to him getting fit for Guardians of the Galaxy. A Spinal Tap reference is made by Rex when he says crank the warp drive up to 11, but then he says times it by 2. Batman says no one is tying down this Batman forever, who Metalbeard says ooh, reference, which is of course the name of the Val Kilmer Batman movie. Rex's raptors names are references. The first one is Cobra from Cobra. Rocky, of course, is from Rocky. Quake, I'm not sure. Let me know down below if you guys know. Ripley is the name of Sigourney Weaver's character from Alien. Connor is a reference to Terminator. And the other, I think, was just made to be a joke. When Rex Master breaks, his fist actually turns into a big figure hand. When we go to the Shimmer and Shine Spa and meet Balthazar, he says that he's an attractive, non-threatening team vampire that likes to talk about feelings, and which is of course him making fun of the Twilight franchise and all those other types of fantasy stories. Lucy says that she definitely didn't use a permanent marker to darken her hair, which could have been the same marker that they used to give Unikitty her business kitty disguise. During a catchy song, they actually made a mistake of having classic Aquaman there rather than having the Jason Momoa one. During the song, we can actually see Batman flossing, which of course has been more popularized from Fortnite. During the song and in the Sistar system, the clown, the lizard suit guy, and the hot dog guy, chicken suit guy can all be seen. And Emmett is seen skipping down the road with the Wizard of Oz characters. It was also here that we saw a lot of the characters from the Lego Movie collectible minifigure series. After using the CPD convenient plot device, which is of course an awesome fourth wall break, Emmett and Rex jump into the hole in the sidewalk, and Emmett asks if we are just going to keep falling, which is of course a reference to when he jumped out the window into the infinite abyss of nothingness in the first movie. It was also in this scene where we got a longer cameo by Bruce Willis, who is seen crawling through the vents with a lighter in his hand and a white tank top, which is of course a reference to Die Hard. When Emmett and Rex visit the planet where the Duplo monsters are sorting all the bricks from eating them at Bricksburg, a billboard in the background can be seen of President Business saying, "Don't touch my stuff," from the first movie. Emmett asking if Lucy can see Rex and making sure that he's not just a projection of what his ego needs deep down is a nod to Ferris Bueller's Day Off. There's a big fan theory going around that Ferris actually never existed and he was just a figment of Cameron's imagination. What could be my favorite song in the movie, it's hard to say, but I go back and forth, but Gotham City Guys has so many references. Batman can be seen eating his favorite dish, lobster thermidor. Queen Whatever makes a reference about Batman hanging out with clowns, which is of course a reference to the Joker. She name drops Selena Kyle and Vicky Vale, who have been love interests for Batman. Every live action Batman got a reference in the song. Christian Bale, Michael Keaton, Ben Affleck, George Clooney, and Val Kilmer. Oprah Winfrey is also mentioned for being super rich. When talking about Michael Keaton, she mentions that she liked him in Beetlejuice, which we actually see that version on screen from LEGO Dimensions. She says all this also in snake form, which is a nod to that movie. Of course, out of all the Batman, Adam West is the only one to actually appear on screen, although in the wrong style cowl. There's also a plethora of Batman vehicles seen, but only one so far has been made into a set, which is of course the Batboat or jet ski seen from set number 76000, which is Aquaman's first appearance in LEGO form. We also see a Tumbler and Keaton Mobile, which the Keaton Mobile is actually rumored to be coming in a 2019 Batman set later this year. While Batman is getting his cape brushed for the wedding in the background, you can see a ton of outfits in behind. A lot of the suits are from the LEGO Batman movie. There's a white one with a gold cape, a white suit, probably the one that Bruce Wayne wore to Gordon's retirement gala, one suit with red lips on it, a yellow tuxedo with black pants, a green suit with dollar bills printed on it, and a pink suit. All of these can be seen in the tuxedo dress-up party scene. When General Mayhem punches in the phone code into the entertainment center, the code used is 13016, which is the piece number for Donatello's head, but that doesn't really make any sense. The phone number actually has 6 digits, but I tried playing around with adding a number to the start and the end, but I couldn't find anything. So let me know down below if you guys came up with something, or I probably just got the phone number wrong, or it means nothing. But anyways, speaking of that phone, a popular band album can be seen, which is the name of the group that wrote Everything Is Awesome, which Lucy is later revealed to be the main singer from. Emmett also had a poster hanging on his wall in his apartment from the first movie. Along with that album, there are some other titles that include I'm So Over You, Tuba Pig, Band of Ages, and one song with Barnabar on the cover. Ruth Bader Ginsburg and Amira Curie make a cameo in the bride's wedding party. When Emmett is visualizing his success, he swings on a rope to save everyone, including Batman, which instead of doing the rescuing, he is being rescued. This is of course a nice little reference to his first appearance in Detective Comics number 27. Rex steals Wonder Woman's invisible jet, which I guess she rebuilt from the first movie. In Bianca's room, she had a photo of the family screaming on a ride, which actually included all the actors of the family. Also, the curtains in her room is meant to represent water, which we can see when General Mayhem first arrives in the Sistar system. She also has a Unikitty pillow from the show, and her house or palace from the show can be seen built in her room, as well as when Queen Whatever is promising things to everyone. Puppycorn is also seen next to the house. Rex being a future Emmett should have been seen from a mile away. We first hear Finn saying that he's in the middle of a story with time travel and mind-blowing plot twists. Also, while Rex is talking, he's constantly saying things about the past and the future and the present. Also, the minute that Emmett sees the Rexcelsior, he says it's an enemy ship. There was a ton of foreshadowing of this. The Rexcelsior is actually also in the shape of a big figure hand, and if you didn't realize, on the outside of it, it actually has 16+ written on the doors, "'Cause this ship's only for cool, older, mature kids." Anyways, while he was explaining this all to Emmett, that he's Emmett's future self, Emmett is being strapped into a contraption using a band of elastique. Rex mentions Emmett wanting to go back to the Matrix after knowing it exists, which is a reference to that movie. During Rex's story about how he was forgotten and all his friends danced and sing, the Lucy from the CMS series can be seen. Also, the Chevrolet model from the commercial can also be seen on the desk when Emmett is turning into Rex. Rex is revealed to be an acronym for Radical Emmett Extreme, which has to be referenced to extreme stunts. Back to the Future is also referenced here more than any of the other movies. We see Doc Brown next to his DeLorean, and then a flux capacitor is actually printed on a 2x3 tile. Rex, of course, says that he's Back to the Future when he's fading away, which is of course a reference to when Marty started disappearing while he was performing. Rex uses pieces to build the Rexcelsior from the Doctor Who's TARDIS, Bill and Ted's phone booth, Skynet's time displacement equipment from Terminator. He also kicks a T-800 off the shelf. H.G. Wells's time machine and the hot tub time machine are also used. Rex fist bumps a raptor and says "One Love," a strange reference to Bob Marley. The Star Wars ships and Death Star have been taken down from the first movie and replaced with some classic space stuff. The Old West and Middle Zealand can be seen in the background of the basement, still intact. When everyone is falling into the bin of storage, Abraham Lincoln says that he had theater tickets that night, which is a super dark joke about his death. Benny makes a joke about finally understanding Radiohead, and Batman recommends a different artist named Elliott Smith. Everything Is Not Awesome is actually the name of the video that Greenpeace put out, wanting LEGO to end their partnership with Shell in 2014. so that's a nice way to redeem that title. Also, prior to the song, Lucy says that this isn't one of those stories that end on a super dark cliffhanger, which is of course a nod to Avengers Infinity War, which of course, if you missed it, Gandalf said that Marvel wasn't returning their calls. Finn's family house is actually revealed to be yellow, just like Emmett's dream house. And before we go to the Cispocalypse Burg, we hear the dad shout out, "Honey, where are my pants?" which is where the show originated from. Both of the Lego Movie's final scenes end with Emmett gasping. First, it was the arrival of the visitors from the planet Duplo, and now it was with Lucy giving him the original cover for Everything is Awesome. In the end credits, there's a ton of characters moving and holding hands. The only one that I was able to make out were actually Trump and Hillary. There are a ton of other characters that I couldn't quite make out, but there's one that I think could be Spider-Man. Again, these characters move by really quickly, so I'd have to go back and look. But anyways, everyone, that is it for this video. I had a ton of fun making it and writing all this out, so let me know down below what you guys think. Let me know if you saw a character that I missed or anything else that I missed. I hope that you all have a great day, and I will see you all in the next video.
You're welcome.